Hello friends, good evening. Today I am going to cover a very interesting topic in our Odoo accounting, that is asset depreciation management or asset life cycle. And my topic is about Odoo enterprise asset management versus Odoo community association asset management module. So in Odoo community association we have a very beautiful module that is relevant to asset management, which is covering some more aspect of asset management on top of Odoo Enterprise. So this module we are going to cover that. Now in terms of Odoo default, Odoo Enterprise Edition, when we go to account and create any assets, so we can purchase and we can connect that bill over here and then create an asset with its original value, with acquisition date, non-deprecated value, and then a plan like the method of depreciation, that is starting from straight line, declining or declining, then straight line, and we have to give a factor and years, and then we have to do computation method. So let's say if I give this particular method, declining method, with 15% factor, and I need to cover on with 10 years of span, then what Odoo will do, Odoo will start doing it on the basis of $9,000 of amount, because my non-deprecated value is 1000, and then it will divide based on 15% declining method, and then it will start adjusting, and then after few years it will be stable. And that's how it will create entire depreciation board for us. When we have a straight line and we compute, it will equally divide all the amount based on the acquisition date and years. So you can see almost all the amounts are same based on the years. Okay. Now this is Odoo's default. Now when I move to my local host, when I have installed this asset management module coming from our OCA branch, then I can't use the regular asset management because the code will be not compatible with each other and it is using the same object. But instead, then we can have, in accounting, we can create asset groups first, like I have created computers and electronics group, and then I have created asset profiles. So asset profile is nothing but a kind of asset pre-configuration which was available in previous version, or you can say asset models. So asset model is over here, which will allow us to define fixed asset, depreciation account, expense account, and journal, and the method. So over here you will get the same thing but with extra information on OCA module. That is, you can define a salvage value, the salvage type, that is percentage of price or fix, and then give asset group over here where it will be applicable, and then create asset by product item. So when I buy product and use this asset account, it will automatically create asset for us. And then I can give depreciation account like this, and then expense account for depreciation. And then I have one more feature. If I want to sell that asset in future, then I can register my additional value, or I can register my minus or negative value when I am selling based on my deprecated value or residual value. And then I can also have a residual value account which I can give any other account if I wish. And I can also have reversal of journal entries. And here is the computation method, where in Odoo Community Association we will be getting 5 different computation method. One is linear, that is similar to straight line. Then we have linear with salvage value. I will explain how it works. Then we have digressive, which is nothing but declining according to the standard Odoo enterprise. And then we have digressive linear, which is nothing but this declining and straight line. And then I also have a 5th element of computation method, that is digressive up to salvage value. So linear up to salvage value and digressive up to salvage value are the new addition to this method, which will be very useful in certain accounting or certain practices. We will cover that in today's session. And then here a very beautiful methods like time method have been added, which is not available in Odoo Enterprise even, and that is number of years or end date. So in Odoo Enterprise I have to give years, but here I can give end year, and then I can calculate based on those end years or months and the value. And then it also has a leap year kind of functionality, which will allow us to distribute amount according to leap year and that days if I calculate by days. So this is very extensive functionality module we have got on OCA. Now let's jump onto the real example how it works. So this is my asset profile where I have given 10% salvage value based on price, and then another is electronic where I have given fixed salvage value of $5,000 for my electronic item. So what happens now? Over here in invoicing module we will have now asset module where I can have my asset which I have purchased in real time worth $10,000, and then what I have given is it is under profile of computers and laptops. So on computer and laptop my computation method is digressive up to salvage value. Okay, so salvage value is 1000 and I want to have digressive value with 12% of factor. Let's say I keep it 15% to compare two method in two separate module. Here if I go to our standard Odoo asset which I have given 10 years straight line, then I will give declining with 15% with 10 years. And over here I have given again 15%, and I don't want to give year but I want to give end value, and that end value is let's say from 2024 to let's say 2034, and I choose 31st December as my last date. And if I compute, it will compute entire asset based on the $10,000 of amount with 1000 of salvage value, which is my last value. So entire computation method is calculating all the depreciation based on $10,000 of initial value, and then 15% deduction of depreciation, and then based on balance again it deducted 15%, then based on this balance again 15%. So if you calculate 10,000, then 15% will become 1500. Then if you take a balance of asset after a year, that will be 8,500, and again 15% will $1275. So this is how this OCA module has calculated based on $10,000 starting with that and then ending with $1,000 as a residual value or depreciated value, okay, or salvage value. Now in Odoo standard, if I run the same thing and if I compute the depreciation, it will start with $9,000 of amount because $1,000 it has already deducted, and then entire depreciation is counting based on $9,000 and then 15% and then balance 15%. So this is entirely having a change. Some of the accounting practice will allow this, but some of the accounting practice would require starting with the real value of the asset and then create the depreciation based on this. So you can see now entire depreciation has been adjusted for 9 years, and for the rest last year it has adjusted the value based on the balance. So all 15% has coming from all the balances till 9th year, and on 10th year I can have a balance. Likewise in Odoo Enterprise, now you can see it is started with even 9,000, and then after 3 or 4 consecutive years it will be constant. So now it is not even declining on this method. So what I feel is Odoo Community Association module is even better for the same. Now let's say how I can create an asset and how I can get this done. So what I will do is I will first purchase some electronic parts. So let me do with any vendor, let's say Gemini Furniture, and I want to buy uh, home theater speaker. Okay, home theater speaker, the cost is, let's say, $15,000, and I want to track inventory by quantity. So now home theater speaker I am buying for 15,000. I confirm the order and I receive this item. Now during bill creation, what I will do is I will change this to my other expense account. That would be, for my asset. Let me check the account which I have set on my model, where I have created asset profile, and on electronics I have electronic asset as an asset account. So what I will do is I will go to my vendor bills. This is my vendor bill, and the account I would like to use, let me set over here on my product. So inventory, then product, then home theater speaker. In accounting expense, electronic asset will be my account, and then I go again to my purchase order. So Gemini furniture, and then I will cancel this, and then let me delete it. Now I create a bill again, and then it will come as an electronic asset. Now here I will give the bill date. Let me take a bill date from 1st January 23 and then confirm. So an asset is directly created based on my configuration, and that asset will have its own plan based on my electronic item of the profile, because that chart of accounts, ledger account is connected with my profile, and then it will create entire method based on fixed salvage value of 5,000. So this is how I can now set my digressive up to salvage value, which was my configuration. Now let me talk about the second method, linear up to salvage value. And then if I give any end date, let's say my end date will be somewhere around 2014 and it will end on 31st January. And then if I compute, so it will start the linear up to salvage value for all this duration up to end of the date. So my acquisition date was 31st/1/2023 and 31st/1/2040 is my end date. And then it will create entire depreciation based on $15,000 of purchase value, and then based on that year it calculated 809, then 884, 881. You can see the constant based on the fixed linear amount. So it has divided over 16 to 17 years. Now let's say if I want to give with number of depreciation, and if I count 17 years of depreciation and I recompute, it will almost remain same, but over here you can see it has this adjustment because it doesn't have entire calculation method for 7 years. It will be already done with the range of almost 15 years, and then I count, then it divided entire thing for this many years. So you can see now $15,000 of item is reaching up to 14,000, and then it is adjusting minus 4,000 to settle down the final amount of 5,000 residual value. So after even 12 or 13 years, like after 10 years only I am done with my salvage value. You can see 5000 is reaching by 2032, and I have to get 5000 salvage value. That's why it is divided into negative value also. So that's why this method will not work for us. But yeah, this method will again recompute and finish off by 2013 based on my 10 years of salvage value. To keep 5000 is my salvage value, it is auto adjusted based on all the amount. So that's how I can even give either number of years or I can give any date. So if I want to choose to end this, let's say on January 31st, and then if I recompute, it will automatically adjust everything based on my 7 years of span. And it always start with 15,000 as a base amount, not 10,000, like deducting the depreciated value in advance and then calculating. So this would be, I think, the ideal way to calculate depreciation with OCA module. That is what my outcome is based on my discussion with several chartered accountant and CPAs. Okay, so this module will be helpful to keep my salvage value constant at the end, but starting with my base amount of purchase value of that asset. So you can even now do the second functionality. So this is all about computation method of salvage value up to a date or a year. This is what we have discovered this. Now let's say if I have already confirmed this asset, it will automatically create the first move, and then I can also create the second move and third move based on what we have. Then I can also forcefully do the future move also, but I can also reverse this move. And then let's say my residual value is 11402 as on today, as on 2025. And then if I want to dispose this particular asset, then I can also dispose with my income account or any expense account. And then if I sell this asset, let's say like my residual value is 11402 as per my book, and if I am trying to sell it in less price than my residual value, okay, then it will set fixed asset, and I have electronic asset, that is my asset sale account. And then removal entry policy is gain or loss on sale or residual value. So if I want to pass only residual value differences, I can directly choose residual account, or if I want to choose gain on sale or loss, then I can have selection of these two. And force accounting date, if I say I want to do on 38, then it will calculate the amount like. And then if I generate this value, what Odoo will do is Odoo will do the electronic asset, like 15,000 was original value, then it has adjusted this 4150 as my depreciation till date, and then 8,000 is my selling amount, and then it register expense, which is my loss, because I have to sell this particular asset in somewhere around this amount based on my depreciation 11402, but I sell it in lesser price. Then it will create automatic journal entry according to our setting. So let's say if I am even not considering this and removing, so let's say I don't want to make any sale, so we cannot remove this. So if I want to have reverse, so let me go here and reverse this. So now if I click on remove again, then I can even re-register everything again based on my removal date. So it has created this many entries till date, and then if I select remove again, and then if I say I want to register some income and expense, but this time if let's say I am selling it in 14,000, then I will also register, and it will generate a kind of income for whatever the difference according to 11,402, and this is the difference will come into credit side as my income. And then original asset was 15, then depreciation was counted 4150 till date, and then I can register my final sale amount. So this is how Odoo Community Association Asset module will help to maintain the asset depreciation in different method with removal, with income or expense kind of thing. Now let's say if I discard this, so let me check, I post it and then let me discard this. Okay, I am computing it again and then confirming, and now on this time if I say residual value, then if I want to do based on sales price based on residual value, then if I'm registering my sale will be 13,500, and then asset sale account, let me get into the same account and then generate the moves. Then it will create the moves according to my residual value. Finally it will not register any gain or loss. So out of 15,450 goes to my depreciation and rest amount goes to my direct income. It will not create any income or anything over here in this method. So that's how it will register the depreciation for entire asset and then removal of the amount. So this is how we can see now two different way to remove, and then it will register the journal entries. So if I say post, and then if I want to reverse, I can do that. And then so this is flexible module. As I am admin, I can do many things, right? So this is how we can even register residual value as a removal. Okay, so it will not register any sale value at the moment. It will directly register direct residual value as my sale amount. If I give gain and loss and if I give sale value, then Odoo will create impact on this sale amount. So this is how we can use this particular method. Okay, so this sale value will have no impact when we choose to have a residual value. So residual value will be the final value where I am selling the asset at my final disposable value. So this module is freely available for almost all the version till latest version 18, and you can get benefit of choosing different depreciation method based on this particular calculation compared to Odoo Enterprise Asset Depreciation. Hope there are many things you can explore with all the history and everything it will capture, and then we can use of this module very beautifully with our own combination with different accounting method. Hope this entire video session, entire tutorial will help many accountant, many functional consultant and end user to set up the right asset depreciation and plan with OCA module also alongside the Odoo Enterprise. Thank you guys. If you have any queries, please feel free to reach me. Good day.